This episode of FilmRiot is brought to you by Domain.com. Today, we play with fire without getting burned.
Get ready to shoot the greatest water rifle in the universe!
May not be accurate.
Whoa! Holy crap! Look at that! The Zebra 90,000 million is the latest and greatest water firing device ever made!
Not confirmed by studies.
Shoot water with water! F you, water!
Do not say that word.
Shoot your sister in the face!
Don't shoot your sister.
Stupid sister!
I'm sure she's nice.
Over 150 feet of firing power! Wow!
Cannot actually shoot 150 feet.
The Zebra 90,000 million is not just a rifle, it's not just water, it's a water rifle!
Recommended for ages 18 and up.
Flame. But with their powers combined...
Nice water gun you got there. Don't shoot me with the water.
I didn't put water in it.
What's in it?
Stop, drop, and roll, man. Don't you know nothing?
Logo. Welcome to FilmRiot, the show that takes the mystery out of the effects and techniques and go into some of your favorite Hollywood films. I'm your host, Ryan Conley, and I have gotten the following request a lot over the course of the show, but I've always shied away from it. I need to have a flamethrower for my video, but don't have the means to get a real one. Can you show how to get this effect in post, preferably with only the plugins that come with AE, as I don't have any third-party plugins? I've shied away from this effect because I think it is seriously hard to do any fire effects in After Effects that isn't from a straight asset. I've seen a lot of people try with plugins, but I've never really liked any of them for a front and center sort of effect like this would be. But now with the addition of the challenge of not being able to use those plugins, I don't know, I got interested. So let's. So first of all, I may have cheated, which I don't think I did, because the email said no third-party plugins, which I in fact did not use, but it never said not to use assets. So I'm going to be using Action Essentials from Video Copilot. How you like them apples?
Apples?
The best way to get an effect like this is by using some high-end software like 3D Studio Max and with some serious plugins like Fume. But these are extremely expensive and pretty advanced as well. So within After Effects, for something like this, you really want to start from real footage, in my opinion, which in our case will also keep the budget down. Like I said, I will be using Action Essentials, which you can get for like 99 bucks. Not too bad. And it's something that every no-budget VFX artist should have anyway. But first things first, since this is something pretty unfamiliar to me, I will do a bit of YouTube searching to find some examples of flamethrowers to work from, which is a really important step for any effect based on something that is in the real world. The brain is an impressive thing, and with anything that we have seen several times before, there will be a number of things that we expect to see from it, both consciously and subconsciously, which is why sometimes an effect looks wrong, but you can't quite pinpoint why. So with a few examples found, I will get to work on creating my effect. First thing I did was to find a few fire assets that I thought could be manipulated into the fire-like flamethrower thingy that I wanted to shoot out. Like this one, and this one. I'll also be using this burst here, but now with our footage, assets, and reference collected, I will move into After Effects. Now, I'll start a new comp with my footage, then place Fire 04, then Fire 02, and then Fire 06 into my comp, one on top of the other. Then select all three and pre-comp them. Now, what we will be doing is creating a whole new asset to use as a flame, something completely unrecognizable from what we're starting with, which is why I am pre-comping to keep things clean and easy to manage in the end. Now with our pre-comp, which we will name Final Flame, I'll hide all the layers except 04, which should be on the bottom. Now I will click the toggle transparency grid off so I can get a black background to better see what I'm doing. Then I will add Unmult, which just gets rid of the extra black that is still in the asset so we can work with just the flame and alpha. Then I will add levels. Inside levels, I will grab the mids and jack them up until I get a look from the flame that I'm happy with. Now, with that done, I grab a plugin called Turbulent Displace, which, just like Chroma Pop, also sounds like a dance move.
Turbulent displacement, turbulent displace, turbulent displacement when I'm curving on your face, man. Turbulent displacement, turbulent displace, turbulent displacement when I'm curving on your face, man.
Twirl open Turbulent Displace and set amount to 59, size to 15, complexity to 2, then set a keyframe at the start of the comp for evolution, then move to the end of the comp and change the cycle to about 85. Now twirl this closed and we will add our last plugin for this layer, and that is Mesh Warp. In Mesh Warp, I will set the row to 7, the column to 7, and the quality to 8. Now, if you click the little joining points here, you can warp your image like so, which I will use to angle my flames more towards the angle I want instead of up, but I'm sure you could also use this plugin for other fun stuff. Ooh. So now with the plugins applied, I will shrink the layer a bit and position it bit towards the side of the comp, since this will be the ending of our flame being shot from the flamethrower. Now unhide the layer above, which is O2. Then I will copy Unmult and Levels and Turbulent Displace plugins from the first layer to this one here. And then again, I will apply Mesh Warp and do the same thing that I did in the first one, but to this layer. I will also add directional blur to this layer and point it in the direction the flame is supposed to be moving. Now I will shrink and position this layer to be in the center of the flame, and then move on to Fire 06 layer, which I will do the exact same thing to, then scale and position to the beginning of our flame coming out of said flamethrower. Now I will bring in two assets, Fire at Camera 03 and Big Fire 03, which I do the exact same thing to both of these. Drag one into the comp, rotate it so the flames are moving in the same direction the flamethrower is supposed to be shooting, then scale it to fit this area here, which I squeeze mine a bit like so, then mask out a shape like this to act as the base of the flame. Then do the exact same thing to the other layer until you have this. And the final thing I'm gonna do to this comp is add in a layer I created in Photoshop, which is this bad boy right here, which I made like so. Open Photoshop, grab the brush, this one right here, set it to the dark orange color like so, then paint a shape out like so. Then save, import into After Effects, and you're done. Easier than a hipster trivia game.
You have to give an answer. No, because it's too mainstream?
Oh. Yes, it's another 20 points for you.
So good at this game.
So now with your Photoshop layer imported into After Effects, scale it to fit the rest and add Turbulent Displace. But this time, set amount to 138, size to 15, complexity to 10, and keyframe the evolution to cycle to about 90 over the course of your comp. Then add directional blur to do the same thing as the others, and mesh warp to help it fit better. And now, soloed, it looks like this. And then all together, it looks like this. Like crap, right? I know. But we're not done. Quick word from the people who keep our lights on, and then we'll knock out the rest. So if you're looking to, like, I don't know, blog, create a portfolio, and or also showcase your film, videos, whatever it is, you're gonna need a website. And the best place to go to make that website is domain.com. They make it super easy to find a domain name that's best and a website for you to get up and running. You can blog, create that website to showcase all your work. You can make money by maybe making that said awesome blogness with all your inner thoughts and then putting ads on the side because people love you and your thoughts, and then bam, you're making that cheddar. There's so much you can do. And the guys at domain.com want to help you out with 15% off to get you started when you get your domain name or web hosting by using the coupon code when you're checking out at domain.com. So don't forget, use the coupon code FilmRiot when you think domain names, think domain.com. Logo.
Pretend to care about a societal or environmental problem I know nothing about.
Oh, come on! You're cheating!
So right now we have this, which is icky. So what we're gonna do is select everything and pre-comp again. And this time we're gonna call it base flame. So now all those assets are all together as one layer that I can manipulate as one. The first thing I will do is add mesh warp to this, which I will then use to thin the flame out as a whole like so. Then I will set keyframes for the distort mesh, then adjust the shape about every 5 or 7 frames until I have it making this motion right here. It's subtle, but it's gonna add a lot subconsciously in the end. Then I'll add levels again to push the whole thing even a bit brighter, and now we will pre-comp yet again, and name this one Flame. Now we will duplicate this new pre-comp and add a glow to the bottom layer, set the threshold to 31%, the radius to 48, the glow intensity to 1.5, then change the glow colors to A and B, and finally set color A to a whitish light orange and B to more of a saturated light orange, and then set the blending mode for that layer to soft light, and here's what we have now, which is starting to get there. Now we move back to our main comp. We're gonna position the flame where we need it. Next, I will add an adjustment layer, which I will add turbulent displace to.
Turbulent displacement.
Set amount to 28, size to 10, and I have the evolution cycle to this one for about 20 over the course of my shot. Now I will mask around the area of my flame and above it, feather that, and I get this heat look that a real flame gives off. Finally, I will add a light blue solid, mask around the tip of my flame here, feather to about 12, then change my blending mode to overlay. This gives that super hot blue area you see with fiery fires and what have you. But now we have... Of course, to bring in the flame, I added the assets Fireball Day 07 and keyframe my flame to move in while the fireball locked it. But that's it. So there you go, a lot of steps, I know. Hopefully I didn't lose you at all. I tried to make it as clear as possible, but if you do have any questions, feel free to shoot them over to my Twitter right here, and I'll try to help you out. But I'll see you guys next week when it turns out that I can disguise myself perfectly into my environment because my mom's a cake maker, and I've colored a few.
Turbulent displacement, turbulent displace, turbulent displacement when I'm curving on your face, man. Turbulent displacement, turbulent displace, turbulent displacement when I'm curving on your face, man. Zap-a-doo-bang, bang-a-doo-bang, bang. Zing-a-doo-boogie-doo-boogie, bang, man. Over-the-back, bap-a-doo-bang. When I turbulate your face and I displace on the place.
V-neck, bow tie, and cardigan.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Wrong, you forgot scarf.
Scarf.
Scarf. How do you forget scarf?